okay, I thought I would just do a couple high-level videos that may help give a little more clarity or put the puzzle pieces together. Yeah, from a high level, or if anybody else is going through this, if maybe it will help them relate before I get into my haunted house and kind of how all of that started to unfold and play out. But like I mentioned in my first video, I've always been kind of an intuitive empath, and I wear my heart on my sleeve, and I've always asked and questioned why things are the way they are, or the reason for doing stuff, or why it is the way it is. Like I basically was born asking like, why the grass is green and the sky is blue. And I've never really liked rules or being told no. If somebody says something can't be done, it's like, oh, well, maybe you can't do it, but it can definitely be done. Or maybe it just hasn't been done yet, but like it can happen. So I think that's kind of the best way to describe myself, I guess. Age-old wisdom and a rebel without a cause. I kind of an old soul from the future, I guess. Yeah, but I've always felt a really strong, like, divine connection to God or source or creator. I've always been very spiritual, but not religious. Like, I think all religions have something good that they can contribute, but there's no right one. And so, you know, between like the belief in God, like so God, science, the universe, like it's not, there's not one that's right, there's not one that's wrong, or that's not the right way to put it, but like they all go together, they all tie together. You can't have any of it without, they all depend on each other, they all work on each other. Only God, creator, source, only he can create souls. And every soul is unique and created for an exact purpose. And only God can create a soul. But it's the universe that gives it its vessel, like the human body, or brace yourself, if you're born on another planet and you have a triangle head, maybe. That's the universe giving you a vessel, what your soul goes into when it incarnates. But ever since I was like really little, I'm talking like, I don't know, maybe 5 or 6, a little even younger maybe, I've always like had this like thought or notion that when you're born, your life must flash before your eyes. And that's what deja vu is. Or that's how you know things, although you don't know how you know them. Like, I've always felt really close, like, you know, it's the few who sacrifice on behalf of the many that, like, that do good or help the changes get started. But anyway, yes, I've always felt, even though I'm not religious, very spiritual and very, very connected to God. And I think a big part of that is, as, you know, Earth is transitioning, like how it's so important right now is like Earth is transitioning from 3D to 5D. So from the 3rd dimension to the 5th dimension. And in order for us to successfully achieve that, the vibration of the planet, it has to be raised, right? Like humanity still has some evolving to do in order for us to achieve a much better, peaceful state. And, you know, with that, yes, there comes a lot of like intergalactic travel, and like, yes, there's like more things that come with it. But, you know, the good thing, kind of how I said in my earlier video, you don't have to be scared of aliens. I learned star people is the preferred term. But you don't have to be scared. The higher the density, the higher the dimension of the being, the more pure intentions, pure of heart that they are. So, like for example, the blue avians, like that's been something that's triggered a flood of remembering and memories for me. If Earth right now is 3D and we're in between 3 transitioning to 5D, blue avians, the ones that are helping Earth currently, they're around the 9th dimension. So some of those higher dimensional beings, like they don't even understand karma, because they don't understand like why like somebody would even choose to react or do something negative to somebody. So they have a hard time even wrapping their mind around that concept. But the two ways, like for the way that our planet is gonna raise our vibration, is every individual human has to do it for themselves, and those two ways are through prayer and meditation. And meditation allows you to connect with your higher self, and your higher self is you. It's not you from the future or you from the past, or it's just you in a higher dimension. So without the ego. The ego is like the brain and the fear and the scaredness and the you have to be a certain way to fit in, or that is all 3-dimensional. That's ego related. And in the higher levels, ego does not exist. It's just the soul. It's just it's basically the soul. It's a much more pure form of living, of existence. And so your higher self is you from a higher dimension. So if you kind of think of it as the sun and all of the rays of the sun coming off of the sun is whole in and of itself. And so it can still shine its rays all over the world and all over a universe or a galaxy or, whatever it may be, but it's still you. It's just you. It's your higher, bigger self. And that's through meditation who you can channel and who you can learn to communicate with. And all of us, it's soul level. Every single human walking this planet is a soul, has a soul. And so you have a higher self who you can communicate with. And then yes, there is still God, source, creator. That is correct. Then the universe gives you a vessel, which is your body. And whatever Star Wars character your body may be, it's a body, a vessel from the universe. So that's how that works. But anyway, one of the questions my friend had asked me about being a psychic or whatever, being having future memories. So she asked, are you a psychic or a medium? Well, okay, I know this sounds silly, but again, everyone is a psychic, everyone's a medium, every single person has those abilities. I personally, a medium is every medium or psychic has different strong suits and skill sets. So I met one medium, and her sister, she can see the future, she can see how people will die, which is very morbid, which I wouldn't want to know. And then others, they can tell you, they can do health issues. They can scan your body and see if you're having health, where you might be ill, or what's causing a problem, or how it should be treated, or so there's every single one has a different skill set, and so I don't know, when you think of a common medium, you think of they can talk to dead people. Well, sure, they can do that, but that means a lot of different things. So spirits, for example, one of my very closest best friends, Holland, she has always been open to kind of the spiritual world, more connected with it. She's always, here and there throughout the years, been like, yeah, I can like feel the energies in this room, or I can feel like there's a spirit here, and you know, until recently I'd be like, okay, well, what does that mean? Do we stay or do we go? Like, I don't know. And it wouldn't come up very often. Like, I could probably count on one hand the times that she has said that to me. And how old are we now? Like, I don't know, 16 years or something. But anyway, she is comfortable communicating with spirits. And a spirit, in this sense, is a spirit is a human who has lived and died. And they are kind of in this limbo state because they didn't go into the light. And the reason, the two most common reasons that a spirit doesn't go into the light is because they either died in a really like unexpected way, like if you got in a car crash or a plane crash, and it was instant, and you kind of missed your light, like you missed that kind of portal to the heavens, or you're confused, like you didn't know you died, so you're kind of in this limbo, like you still think you're alive, but you're in spirit form, and you're not actually in the living 3D realm. So that's one way, is like, you know, if there's an instant, if your death was unexpected and instant. And then the other more common reason is if you don't go into the light on purpose. Like if you die and you are scared of the light, because you think you're going to be, if you don't know, or if you're scared of not going to heaven, or you're scared because you didn't believe in God, or if you're scared of what your judgment will be, which I, again, didn't know this till recently, because I would have just gone into the light. I didn't know that by like religious text, you go into the light to be judged. I would have just thought, oh, very good, the light, I'm in. Like, so I guess I didn't even know that was something to be feared of. So I was like, oh, dang, I wish I didn't know that. But anyway, but the people that I like have communicated with, aside from my higher self, guides and the divine, archangels, angels, messengers, are people who have passed from this life. And they're not like spirits in your house where it's like haunted and they're kind of in this limbo. It's spirits who have, people who have passed from this life, gone through the light, and they're very much so like up next to kind of the divine realm that I can talk with now. But like, yeah, they're people who, they're tight with God. I know that. And so, sounds crazy. Well, this is all crazy, I know. But yeah, so that's who I like can kind of see. As far as like being a psychic and the future memories, well, stay tuned. But like as far as, I don't know where this is gonna go, on how my journey will play out, or how my abilities will develop. But right now, what I can see is a handful of my future memories again, and that is like I can see them, right? I see them, I feel the emotions attached to them. Still so weird, as memories though, right? And I can see other people who were there. And I know who those other people are. So I can see like the role or part, or who they are to my story, like how it relates to my future. But again, like it would not serve me, it would not do me any good to go to these people and say, oh, hey, guess what happens? Or like, or try to convince them like, hey, this is the role or the part, or like, this is who you are to me in the future. Because it does no good. It does not serve me. I cannot, my job, my role, my life's purpose is not to convince anybody else what they do or don't do. It is just to Because at the end of the day, we can only control ourselves. We have zero control over anyone else. So my goal is just to stay in my own lane and continue to heal and work on myself, so I stay on this path that allows me to get to the future memories that I want to be at, if that makes sense. So I know that by healing, staying in my own lane and focusing on me and doing what I need to do, which I feel like is share my truth so it stops eating me from the inside out, then yeah, I'll be good. So I think that kind of sums it up, and hopefully it gives you a little bit bigger picture of how some of the components work together, or a little clarification, or maybe I just made the waters a lot muddier. I don't know. I'm new to this. I've never done this. But yeah, I will see you all later. Bye.